Hey RV family, keep it tight. My name is Jay Moore's the Review Guy, reviewing music for the love of music, and I'm back again to bring you another video. And in this one I'm going to be covering the new Like Moths to Flames record entitled No Eternity in Gold. This is the 5th studio-length album by the American metalcore and post-hardcore band Like Moths to Flames. Upon release, I was unaware that this record had dropped. It's thanks to the avid subscriber Michael Purnell that I checked this out. Anytime in the past this name has come up on my mind, or I've passed by a song or a record of theirs, I've always been consistently just pretty meh on them. I wouldn't go so far as to say disappointed. I have understood and sort of respected from afar what the band accomplishes on their records, but it's just never particularly been for me as someone that usually likes a little bit more out of metalcore. Without a doubt, I'm usually much more either on the very heavy side of metalcore or the genty and progressive metalcore side. I will make no qualms about that. But after spending an extended period of time attempting to really digest this record and what the band does, this is one of those releases sort of like the death metal resurgence that, depending on what you have come to expect from the metalcore genre and particularly what side of the fence you are on what you enjoy, it'll be a release that you either really like or really hate. Technically speaking, instrumentally, the band plays it relatively safe, and there is a little bit of a discrepancy with predictability and enjoyability. It really varies from track to track. Like, the very first track disappointed me quite a bit in just how it feels so metalcore 101 and full of so many tropes and cliches that you have come to know and either enjoy or dislike. But the second track catapults, and it has such a frantic energy. It's so heavy, it's so nice, the sound design, the production on it is fantastic. It has a great progression through the whole thing, and overall comes off like a very cohesive track as a whole, and feels like the band understands and plays to their strengths very well. And that is a consistent trend throughout this record, is you either get a track that just feels so one-dimensional, so one-note, or uses those tropes to their advantage to not really leave any questions or anything to be desired. It's blunt, it's what you get, and when it comes to dissecting this record in your head, there's really nothing below the surface that the band isn't showing you. Usually you'll hear the breakdowns coming up, they'll build up, they'll build up, they'll build up, they will show you that they are about to do it, and then they'll just hit it. It'll be low, it'll be heavy, at times they will do a growl or a scream over it. It's pretty typical, it's pretty expected. The choruses are another thing that can be hit or miss. Sometimes they just really snap and have a piercing effect, and other times they will just feel so overblown, so blown the hell out, and so hyperactive. Yes, while the lyrics are very emotional and confessional and feel like a tear-stained diary and genuinely do have some moments where they have poignancy and they really do hit it home, especially on those choruses, tugging at the heartstrings isn't really anything new for this style, and more often than not I found myself almost laughing at a lot of the choruses, but not in the sense that they are performed bad. The execution is fantastic, it's just how much they blend in with so many other contemporary metalcore bands that I have heard. Early on in their career, if you look at the lineup that this band had, they encompassed quite a few very well-known metalcore and post-hardcore bands. It could have been called a supergroup to some degree. And after record after record, and going back to research this band in anticipation of this review, I can say that Like Moths to Flames are one of those bands that just play the formula very well, and depending on how much proficiency you want and how much innovation you want, maybe you want someone that plays it safe. But in all honesty, the production is the thing that I want to commend the most. Once again, clean production isn't anything that is too unfamiliar, but I really love the sound design on the percussion specifically. Really does sound arena-sized and complements everything very well. Unfortunately, like a lot of metalcore bands, the bass does get drowned out quite a bit, but the sound design as a whole more than compensates, with all of these tracks feeling important. They give you this sense of urgency even when they are going into a bridge or a verse that feels more atmospheric or an instrumental breakup. There's always something very frantic and energized about this. The fact that the band is still maintaining this level of energy is very commendable. In my eyes, I personally personally like to hear more from the genre and think that there's more that is capable of both the band and the genre, but playing it safe isn't necessarily that bad of a move, and if you want a safe release that plays in the confinements of typical metalcore and post-hardcore with the very explosive choruses, sometimes the subdued verses, some heavy chunky riffs, breakdowns, technical riffing, and some very good percussion work, this is going to be one of those records that you just bop the hell out of, headbang to. I personally wish that there would have been more in the way of difference or things to separate these tracks or break up the monotony a tad, which never really came on this record, but maybe I was just expecting the wrong thing. Me personally though, I'm going to be giving this album a 6.5 out of 10. And that is a wrap. Have you heard this new Like Moths to Flames record, No Eternity in Gold? If you have, let me know in the comment section below what you thought about it. I would love to discuss this record with you. Be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to join the review family today, and smash that notification bell to be notified of my future uploads. You know who it is. My name is J Morse, the Review Guy, and I'm signing off saying farewell.